Now at 6, we look at current Christmas tree sales and what could happen in coming years. Plus, a local business looks to provide socks for military troops this holiday season, and the holiday mission of Operation Santa Paws.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
We're in the peak time to buy a real Christmas tree, but some Christmas tree farms are feeling the sting after last summer's dry weather. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to one tree farmer in Webb City who's experiencing record sales, but's worried about the long-term impact of the dry weather.
Spreading Christmas cheer at Bridgestone Tree Farm means inspiring young minds to learn about the years-long effort to grow a perfect Christmas tree despite the increasing odds.
Yeah, the drought last 2 years have been really bad for Christmas trees. And probably not just Christmas trees, but agricultural in general.
Johnson already sees an impact on his trees after 2 dry seasons in a row, and he says customers are going to see an impact if this upcoming season is just as dry as the previous seasons.
We lost probably 75–80% of what we did plant, and so we just replant the next year and hope for the best. But that's 2 years in a row. If we don't get better conditions this next year, we probably will see a shortage in Christmas trees in 6 years.
It's not just Johnson's Tree Farm dealing with these challenges. According to the National Christmas Tree Association, supplies of farm-grown trees started being tight in 2016 due to several factors, one of them being pests.
You see a little bit more pest damage when you have drought conditions, and so you got to keep an eye on that, and it kind of changes the way that we approach that aspect of the tree farm.
Johnson prepares all his trees to be pest-free when sowed, but customers can prolong the magic of their tree with
water, water, water. You definitely want to make sure that tree has plenty of water, especially the first couple weeks.
Reporting in Webb City, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Next year, Johnson's rebranding Bridgestone Christmas Tree Farm to Johnson Tree Farm. So just how dry has it been? Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Well, we know we've been in a drought for about the past year and a half. The drought has gotten better over the past 6 months, but still areas along the north of I-44 definitely could still use some rain. Dry from Joplin to Pittsburgh, still severe drought in Nevada, and then it gets worse once you get out to the west of Independence. We do have some rain chances in the forecast, and that is why it's been so windy today. We have a storm system that is rotating in. Also, look at our temps. We're still sitting into lower 60s, but look at these south winds, sustained 15, 20, upwards to 25. Now, at times, we've been getting gusts 38 to 40, 45. So it's been super windy, and it's going to stay windy throughout the overnight hours tonight. Still a wind advisory in effect until midnight. It's still going to be windy tomorrow, just below that wind advisory criteria. All right, pretty much clear skies, but we're going to be talking about those rain chances for you Friday here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you in a few. Yeah, it's windy. The high winds fanned a vehicle fire today in Joplin. Take a look. KOAM Shannon Becker received this image of a fully involved pickup truck fire on 23rd and Wall. No injuries were reported, but the National Weather Service in Springfield is calling for a wind advisory. Remember, small fires can easily turn into big ones, so no outside burning. A semi-truck driver is dead from a crash in Montgomery County, Kansas. Happened on US 166 near the northern junction with US 75. 64-year-old Gerald Bolia of Newkirk, Oklahoma was eastbound when his semi failed to negotiate a curve and overturned. A police chase last night in Webb City ends in a crash and an arrest. Officers spotted a man with outstanding warrants at a Casey's convenience store. The wanted man drove off in a van, which went over the median on MacArthur, just east of the roundabout, before crashing into a culvert and catching fire. The man then ran away, but the police caught him pretty quickly. He was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Authorities say he's going to face additional charges from that chase. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly announces nearly $2 million to support Kansas children exposed to drugs. The funds will go to 18 Kansas service agencies in the first round of grants for All Hands on Deck. DEC stands for Drug Endangered Children of Kansas. Thrive Allen County and Iola will receive more than $111,000. The Wilson County Health Department in Fredonia will receive $130,000. The grants are intended to help these organizations identify and support children living in an environment where caregivers make or distribute drugs. Frank Fletcher Subaru shared the love today with the Ronald McDonald House in Joplin. Employees of Frank Fletcher presented a donation of more than $8,000 to Ronald McDonald House charities of the 4 states. 100% of the donations go directly to support Ronald McDonald House charities of the 4 states and its 2 programs, Ronald McDonald House and Ronald McDonald Family Room and Mercy Hospital.
Mr. Fletcher had agreed to present this check to the Ronald McDonald House because we feel like that this is more important, especially around this time of the year with Christmas coming up for families.
This is the 10th year Ronald McDonald House Charities of the 4 states has partnered with Subaru for that Share the Love event. A shoe business in Pittsburgh is collecting socks to give to troops for Christmas. It's Shoe Sensation's 8th annual Socks for Troops fundraiser. All Shoe Sensation locations will collect socks and have socks available for customers to buy and donate at a discount. The socks collected from the Pittsburgh location will be donated to the local Kansas National Guard Armory.
Who give are they're just committed to making our military's life as easy as it can be, because it is a hard life sometimes. So it makes them feel good, and it helps our military personnel, and it also just shows our military that we care about them, even if it's just putting socks on their feet.
Last year's Socks for Troops fundraiser collected more than 50,000 pairs of socks. Our four-legged friends are also going to get some gifts for Christmas. Landmark National Bank in Pittsburgh is helping to collect items for Operation Santa Paws. It's a month-long charity drive to benefit the SEK Humane Society. Some needed items are dog toys, cat food, dog food, and cleaning supplies like Lysol wipes and paper towels. Donations can be dropped off at the bank at 2300 North Broadway.
Personally, it makes me feel great. I've been involved in animal rescue a lot of my adult life, and I've personally adopted animals from rescues and animal shelters and have actually rescued some animals. So it just makes me feel great.
Operation Santa Paws runs through December 21st. A little bit later, a familiar face to PSU football fans is back with a brand new title. John's going to take a closer look at the top gorilla in sports. First, though, a hospital in Missouri provides a big service to some of its tiniest residents. If you love babies, and honestly, who doesn't, this might be the volunteer gig for you. Hospitals all across the country bring in helpers to cuddle newborns. Alan Shope has a look at the program in Kansas City, Missouri.
What's the name?
Olivia.
Olivia, I like that.
It's a volunteer job that really hits you in the right spot.
Right up here on my heart.
But for recently retired and widower Bob McElwain, it's about so much more.
This is what I do for as long as I can.
Bob is part of the St. Luke's NICU Cuddlers program, a group of volunteers who spend a few hours every week holding babies.
They ran us through the training now, what to do, what not to do, how to hold the babies.
And cuddle them, even talk to them.
We talk about the stock market, politics, which is guaranteed to put them to sleep.
A lot of our babies are born small, premature, so weight gain is a huge thing for us. Of course, brain development as well, and cuddling absolutely supports all those things.
She's smiling.
Some newborns can spend months at the hospital, and mom and dad can't always be there to cuddle.
They're already dealing with enough. They just need to sleep, so that's what I try to get them to do.
Bob says he spends up to 3 hours a week at the hospital cuddling babies, and sometimes that whole 3 hours is just one baby.
Best 3 hours of my week.
They provide a lot for families. I know our child loves getting cuddled, so.
Oh, hi, we're going to wake up. And if I talk to them for a little bit, they will go to sleep. Yeah. I have that effect on people.
To find more information about how you can participate, maybe tell a baby about the stock market, Google NICU Cuddler Volunteer. A little bit later, big honors for some PSU football players as they make the AFCA All-America team. John's going to have that coming up in sports.
Plus, the winds have been strong today, ushering in our next storm system. We're going to take a look at that coming up next. Well, of course, a mild and very windy day for us today. We had winds gusting 40 to 45 miles per hour at times, which you can see on the flags, whipping in the wind. This is looking at downtown Joplin off toward the northeast from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, of course, located near Joplin and also 7th Street. But great shot, and we're staying dry. It's just a little bit on the windy side out there. Still wind advisories in effect till midnight. Cluster of Kansas into southwestern Missouri. Still going to be windy tomorrow and even into Saturday, but the winds drop below that wind advisory criteria as we go through the next couple days. All right, look at these winds. South winds 15 to 20 to 25. Those are sustained. And then, of course, you get the gust. We've had gusts 35, 40, 45 miles per hour at times. So let's go into the future. Our winds are still gusting near 30 by the time we get into after midnight tonight. As we go into your Friday, gusts kind of in that 20 upwards to 30 mile per hour range. You can see a front in southeastern Kansas. So once you get out toward Yates Center, the winds aren't going to be as bad. Then they switch out the other direction, ushering in cooler air as we go into Saturday. But still, winds are going to be gusting in that 20 to 30 mile per hour range. Temperatures great, 61 in Stockton, Anderson, 61 in Oswego. Veneta sitting at 63. Let's go outside. 7th range line sitting at 61. Visibility is great. Those gusts over 30 miles per hour. Temperatures staying into the 50s tonight. Those southerly winds actually keep our temperatures up. Clear skies, not a whole bunch going on here, but clouds will start to increase late tonight, especially after midnight. Here's our next storm system, really two chunks of energy. So one across the Dakotas, one out across the Pacific Northwest. So if we watch these over the next couple days, look at this. One chunk splits to our north, another one goes to our south. So that means the greater energy from this storm system works around us. We're still going to get some showers, even a few thunderstorms, but we're not going to get a big storm system. Kind of a zonal flow, pretty quiet next week. And then we're going to watch this system as it drops in and starts to affect us late next week and then heading into next weekend. All right, let's work through time tonight. Clouds increase, staying in the 50s, so mild. Scattered showers start popping up by the early afternoon, hit miss showers through the afternoon, and once we get into the evening hours, we could even see a few little thunderstorms try to develop. Southwestern parts of Missouri, then gone. Out of here by midnight tomorrow night. Northerly winds start to work in, and it turns out to be a much cooler day on Saturday. Mostly cloudy skies, high temps near 50. Now, because most of the energy splits around us, not a lot of rain, but some areas will pick up a tenth, maybe upwards to a quarter of an inch in some spots. 61 tomorrow, 50 on Saturday, 45 on Sunday. So the weekend's going to be dry, but it's going to be chilly. 53 Monday, 55 Tuesday. Rain chances back in, especially the second half of next week.
Okay, we'll be looking for that. And happy birthday to you.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
You do not look substantially older than you did yesterday.
I know. I don't feel older than yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you. Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, Pitt State and Missouri Southern basketball play their first MIAA home games this evening. And Pitt State's new head football coach, Tom Anthony, is formally introduced today. John Dales has those stories and more coming up next.
Tom Anthony was Pitt State football's defensive coordinator and associate head coach in the 2022 season, but this past spring he stepped away from coaching and moved to Ohio to spend more time with his family. But this afternoon, he's back in Pittsburgh with a new job title.
Please welcome to the podium the 16th head coach in the storied history of guerrilla football, Tom Anthony.
This moment was made possible because Johnson called Anthony early in the morning last Saturday, telling him Brian Wright was leaving PSU for another job.
I said, how can I help? You know, do you need some names? I know guys would be a great fit, interested. You want help in the interview process? I'd love to sit in, help any way I can. And he said, no, we want you to have the job. And at which point I said, Jim, I'm going to need 30 minutes. And
Anthony accepted, saying this job was the only one that would bring him back to football.
I was not looking to get back into coaching. Knew the whole time if I ever was going to get back into coaching, this would be the only place I would come back to because, again, not just because of the job, because of what this place means to our family and just the, our kids made some really good friends here in the 3 years we were here. So it's just special not only to be the head coach here, but be able to bring them back to that.
Now, Anthony inherits a Pitt State program that has won 2 consecutive MIAA championships and also been eliminated in the second round of the playoffs 2 years in a row. 3 Gorilla football players get named to the AFCA All-American teams today. Trace Jeffries, a 6th-year offensive lineman, is a second-team All-American. Devin Garrison, another 6th-year senior, he's a first-team All-American at tight end. And Rico Payton, who also just wrapped up his final collegiate season, is a second-team All-American defensive back. Over to college basketball, tonight is the first time that fans in the 4 states get to watch Missouri Southern and Pitt State play an MIAA home game. Starting first with MSSU, the Lions host Central Oklahoma. The women's game in the second half right now. Men's game set to tip off at 7:30. Brock Baldridge has the coverage in-game on Facebook and Twitter, and we'll have the highlights from both of these contests tonight on KOAM News at 10. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh State basketball plays its first conference home game against Newman this evening. Amanda David's squad hoping to bounce back from its first loss of the season at Northwest Missouri. Jeff Boshy's group trying to snap a 3-game losing skid. We'll have highlights from both of those games tonight at 10 as well. Webb City Cardinals girls basketball is in its first early stages of the 2023-24 season. The Lady Cards have been off to a rough start, still looking for their first win of the year. This year's team has a young roster with multiple freshmen in the starting lineup, but the Cards still hope to get back on track and play at a high level in February.
Season's off to a slow start for us. We're playing a lot of young kids. And we knew going into the season that we may, have some struggles early.
I think that we're just trying to adjust some things going on with just a slow start, but I have trust in my teammates that we're going to pick that up quickly and hopefully turn this right around where we can start putting more W's on the board and just come back to a good start.
That's all for sports. We're back right after this.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We're going to tell you where you can go to eat in Carthage, pay it forward, and help others in need of a hot meal. Plus, we're going to check out the new guidelines for holiday tipping, and we're going to have some helpful tips on finding the right gift for the seniors in your life. Senior citizens, that is. Those stories, a lot more. It's coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Before we go, we're going to get a final look at the forecast from the birthday boy.
Yeah, it's going to stay windy as we go through the overnight hours, and still windy tomorrow and Saturday, just not quite as bad as what we saw today. Showers increase tomorrow afternoon into the evening hours, cooling down as we head into the weekend.
Enough wind out there to help you blow out some candles
there
if
you go.
necessary. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.